Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ship Views with me, Carburetor. Today we are going to be discussing the value of steel. Now, I have said in previous videos that steel is a very valuable commodity, but just how valuable is it? Now, there's subjective and a little bit more tangential values for steel. There are people who will literally buy, I've been one of these, the 20 of the mega gift containers just to harvest the steel out of it, even though each steel drop is not the equivalent to the ship drop that you would normally get. Just saying, but there are people who farm steel out of there. I have done it last year. I forget how close I was, but I think I was within like 500 steel of getting the Ragnar. So I just, here's my money, Wargaming, take my money, give me the Ragnar. And in my mind, it was worth it because I was essentially, even though each drop was not the equivalent of a steel ship, because of the way I did it, I still got a ship out of the 20 containers I opened. I was close enough, at least. Now, I probably could have gotten it if I just held off for a little bit, but I still decided to just do it and get the Ragnar. Was it a disappointment? Heck no, I love that ship. But anyway, let's go in and let's start talking about it a little bit more. Now, in previous videos, I said in the dockyard that it is worth buying the opening phases of the dockyard just for the steel alone. I stand by that statement, but is it actually worth it? Now, you get 2,000 steel in the dockyard. Now, you're going to see spreadsheets open up in-game. I'm looking at them off game, so if there's a little bit of delays or whatever, please forgive me. But I think the very first question we need to ask is, what is the value of coal? Now, hear me out on this. This actually started as a discussion on what is the value of coal, and it devolved into steel. Now, you do also get coal from the opening operations. You actually get 10,000 coal. But we're not going to focus on that because you can find coal very easily. Brawls are open right now, and for 61 wins in brawls, you can get 10,000 coal. Coal is relatively easy to find in-game. I am simply looking at steel, as steel is the hard one to get. So if we look at this, I've included the Tromp in here, even though it is not normally available for doubloons. You'll see this in the spreadsheet. I haven't explained it yet, but you'll see the ship, their coal value, and their doubloon value, and then the exchange rate or the conversion rate between the two. I've included the Tromp just because it is kind of a stand-in for the standard tier 10 coal ship that you can sometimes buy for doubloon. It's a simple stand-in. It's not the rule. You'll also see the Flint down here. The Flint is not available for doubloon. I use the doubloon cost of the Atlanta, but I think it is. I think it tells a story here. So getting into this a little bit more, you can see that in the exchange rate, the Tromp is at 6.8, while the Flint is at 18.06% conversion rate. Now, what you need to know about this is essentially the higher the number, the better deal it is to buy it for doubloons. The lower the number it is, the better deal it is to buy for coal. Now, if you continue to look through the list here, you'll see that lower tier ships are actually a better deal than higher tier ships. And this is something that I've stated in the past is when you start really saying, I want to collect ships, I'm going to collect ships, I recommend buying the cheaper ships first. Now, these are just the ships that are available for both coal and doubloons. There are some ships in here that are available for coal that are not available for doubloons, such as the Flint is only available for coal, and the Atlanta is not available for doubloons. I put them in here just because they are so similar. But, so I lost my train of thought. I need to regather it. I recommend buying the lower tier ships first because they are a better deal. If you look at here, the average at the very bottom is 10.82. All the ships below the Flint are at 10.0 conversion rate. All the ships above it are a 11.81, and these are all the tier 9 coal ships that you can get that you can also get for doubloons. I think there's a couple like the Nusashimi and the Black that are not available for doubloons normally. But I would recommend buying the lower tier ships first, because when you do happen to get Santa's mega gift containers and super containers and these other containers like the anniversary containers that drop ships, you do not want to get a low tier ship. What would you rather get? Would you rather get a Marblehead, or would you rather get a Lazo? Would you rather get a Kirov, or would you rather get a Tulsa? What would you rather get? I'll tell you what I'd rather get. I'd rather get a higher tier ship. So I recommend buying the lower tier first for 3 main reasons. First off, the more ships you have, the more coal you're going to get. The more coal you get, the more ships you get. So it's just one of those things where the more you get, the more you get. The more you buy, the more you get. Second, they are a better deal. They are cheaper. And third, when you do get ships, you'd rather get ships that you could not have bought in for 3,400 coal. Just saying. You'd rather get the ships that are not available, or that are more pricey. Moving on from that though, so we can kind of determine from this whole spreadsheet that 10.82 coal is equal to 1 doubloon. What's the conversion rate between steel and coal now? Let's move on to the next little spreadsheet here. I have steel ships on the left, coal ships on the right. Now, I'm only looking at tier 10 ships. I have not included the Vallejo, and I have not included any of the tier 9 coal ships. As a result, this is not a complete list. This is not a complete... This is one anecdote of a formula that I'm looking for in my head. Now, if you add ships like the Nusashimi and the Black, it throws it way off, but hear me out on this. So, on the steel ships on the left, that's what you can buy them for steel. The coal ships, that is the price that you can buy them for steel. Because steel has an automatic conversion rate that you can convert 1 steel into 10 coal. But you cannot convert 10 coal into 1 steel. So this is simply what they are available for steel. Now, there's a difference in value between ships. This is a given. There's a reason why the Malta is more expensive than the Sherman. There's a reason why the Plymouth is more expensive than the FD Roosevelt. There is a difference in these values. So I am simply looking at the difference in value between ships, and I think that'll give me the value of the difference between the value of coal and the difference between the value of steel. I'm using ships to use this. It's not perfect, but I think it tells the tale. So as we go down, you can see that the average for the steel ship is 29,778. The average for the coal ship is 24,089. Now, this is also one of the reasons why I would recommend that you save your coupons only for steel ships. Now, if it's going to expire anyway, if you're going to lose the coupon anyway, and you can only buy a coal ship, you can't afford a steel ship, go ahead and blow it on a coal ship. I'm not saying that you should, just hold on to it and you can't use it on coal ships. I'm saying consider saving it for steel ships, because even the most expensive coal ship on this list is not worth the cheapest steel ship on the steel ship list. And even if it was, coal is a lot easier to get in game than steel. Plus, you can get coal ships in containers. You cannot get steel ships in containers. They haven't even re-released the Sommers in a container yet. You can only get steel ships through steel. You can get coal ships through other means. But anyway, comparing the two, just taking each one and dividing it, you get an exchange rate of 1.231. I'll let you go through there. But essentially, I equate this to mean 12.36 coal is equal to 1 steel. Going a little bit further down there, that means 1,000 steel is worth 12,360 coal, which is roughly equal to 1,140 doubloons. That means roughly 1 steel is worth 1.14 doubloons. So for the 2,000 steel you get in game, it is roughly worth 2,280 doubloons. I've not included any clan bonuses you get from here, or if you're running the premium battle pass, I think you get an additional 5%, or I forget if it's 5% or 10%, but you get an additional percentage if you're running the premium battle pass. So you will get more steel out of this, which is, again, more valuable. I'm not going to equate that. I'm going to leave that for you guys to sort of ruffle through your heads. But anyway, just as a last little thought experiment, I'm moving down once more to the next one. What is the approximate doubloon value of these steel ships? Now, I doubt that they're ever going to make steel ships available for purchase. However, in the odd likelihood that Wargaming ever decides to, here's the approximate doubloon value. Now, I don't expect that they're going to sell these things for this cheap of a price. I'm expecting that they're probably going to be worth, like, I would not be surprised if they take the FDR off. They say, hey, we're taking the FDR off just like they took the Sommers off, and the value, you can buy it now for 50,000 doubloons. I would not be surprised. This is the last one. This is just an exercise in futility. I just decided, you know what, let's put it on here. Let's see what these ships are worth. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this rather brief interlude into what the value of steel is. If you guys have any arguments for or against this, if you guys have any other thoughts, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. I would love to hear them. This is simply a thought process. That is it. This is not a rule. This is what steel is worth. This is what is it worth to me. Now, personally, if I were Wargaming, I would actually set up an economy within the steel and coal where you can convert 1 steel to 10 coal, or you can convert 15 coal into 1 steel. That kind of makes it so that when you're bouncing back and forth between the values, you decrease the values as you bounce back and forth. So let's say, oh, I'm so close to a steel ship, I'm going to convert a little bit of coal to get into the steel ship, or get into steel. You're losing coal. And then when you convert from steel to coal, oh, you know, I'm so close, I need to buy the Malta. Well, you're going to lose some steel value. This is just an idea. I don't think it'll ever happen. I'm throwing out the number of 15. That's what I think it should be worth. You know, that's roughly what I think steel is actually worth in game, is 15 coal to 1 steel. That's sort of what I'm going off of. But this method is just a little bit more of a this is game-based mathematics versus other mathematics. But anyway, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, stay safe. I will see you all next time. Bye!